Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Liam's Hockey. Thanks very much for joining us here. I'll try and make this one a little bit quicker today in a New York minute, as they like to say. And the Rangers better get things turned around, or they're going to be out of the playoffs in a New York minute here. That's a team I had predicted to do a little bit better than they are. So that's their results so far to date have been a little shocking. But that said, three things today I want to bang out very quickly. First of all, congratulating Jim Rutherford on an outstanding career. Boy, oh boy, here's a guy who's a player who was drafted first round by the Detroit Red Wings, 10th overall, 1969, from what was back in the day their sponsored team. They had ceased sponsorship just at that time. That was the final season of junior sponsorship, 68-69. And he was drafted 10th overall. And, I say this all the time to people. You go back in time, back in the days, the years and whatnot, go to junior teams, NHL teams, minor pro teams. I'll probably find somebody that I know that was a teammate of whoever you may be speaking about. And I know in Jim's case, from over the years, having met these guys, he played with Rick Smith. He played with Eddie Atum, the first man ever in the NHL from Lebanon. And for those of you who know of Doug Gilmour, his older brother Dave was a junior teammate of Jim Rutherford. That's how far back he goes. He started in the NHL with the Detroit Red Wings in 70-71, and which was the final season of Gordie Howe with the Detroit Red Wings in 70-71. So pretty cool. That's a long, long time ago. And you look at his tenure as a general manager, he comes into the Hartford Whalers, and they become the Carolina Hurricanes. He stays on board, and about 10 years later, or give or take a year, he helps them win a Stanley Cup. He's their general manager when they win the Stanley Cup. And then he goes to Pittsburgh. And I remember when the Penguins hired him, thinking, what are they doing? We had the experience here with John Muckler in Ottawa, and there'd been obviously a few guys in the past that had been older GMs, shall we say. And I guess, we should never paint those old dogs, with the wrong brush, because I'll tell you what, this guy took the Pittsburgh Penguins in his second and third season as general manager, back-to-back Stanley Cups. And in his time with the Penguins, he made 53 trades. 53 trades in the time of his Penguins. And he was hired on June 6, 2014, D-Day, easy to remember, for me anyway, it's how I remembered it. And he made 53 trades. I had to confirm that today. I counted them up. I figured it was around 40. It was actually 53. But he brought in 8 guys in those first 2 years that were part of those 2 cup-winning teams in 16 and 17. Guys like Phil Kessel, who we all well remember, but other guys he brought in, like Nick Bonino and Patrick Hornquist, who actually scored the Stanley Cup winning goal for them in 2016. And others, Ron Hainsey, like guys who came in, Trevor Daley. He picked all these guys up in trades, in a lot of cases 1 for 1, and picked them up, and they went on to help Pittsburgh win those Stanley Cups. Yeah, you got Crosby, you got Malkin, but there's a lot of years they were there, they didn't win the cup. And he brought them in and won those 2. So kudos to him. Retiring for personal reasons. What's going around anyway on Twitter is that it's not health related. I hope that's the case. And when I do my toast later, it'll be to Jim Rutherford. I only interviewed him one time, but much respect, and what a hell of a career. He was the first goaltender in history to play for 3 teams in 1 year as a player. That goes back a little bit. Detroit, Toronto Maple Leafs, and Los Angeles Kings, I believe, in 1981. That's that's an unusual anecdote, obviously. You're bouncing around. Some say not a good thing, but somebody always wants you. He retired a couple years after that. So he was a pro for 14 years. Not bad, he was way down the totem pole. He wasn't your Drydens or Perrons and Tony Esposito's in that level, but probably as good as Tkachuk. Hell of a career, on and off the ice. Jim Rutherford, congratulations. My toast will be for him a little bit later. 2 more things quickly. Oh my God. Did I have fun last night watching Matthew Tkachuk have the meltdown on the ice. Muzzin does a little 2-mile-an-hour flip with the puck. And Tkachuk loses his mind. I mean, he's really busting it to try and get at Muzzin. And who's laughing at him? We all were. Everybody outside of Calgary Flames fans, and even some of them, I'm sure, laughed their asses off at the guy who is quickly becoming the biggest cheap shot artist currently on skates. And to see him melt down like that was priceless. Absolutely priceless. The guy is a clown, and he's becoming a caricature of himself. This is what's happening here. If you look at the presser he had to did after he deliberately tried to injure Jack Campbell, and then went on and just made so much of a joke out of it. Oh, which hit? Which hit are they talking about now? What god-awful thing am I being accused of now? Like, he's becoming a caricature of himself. This is my sense. This is what I see. And that was beautiful last night. The only bad thing is, we got him as a half fan here. We got him the next 2 games. He's a danger out there. The guy is a danger out there. Do you seriously think when he went in the boards with Austin Matthews last night that he wasn't trying something or hoping in the way that he went in? Maybe I'm reading into it. I don't think I am. I watched him every shift last night. I haven't done that in a long time. I just said something to some guys on a thread that I did that last night. Every time I could tell on TV that he was on the ice, I watched him. And he's trying to get a piece of somebody, which is great. Man, I love that. I'm all in for that. I love physicality. Guys like that, you can build around on a Stanley Cup winning team. But when you add the piece of shit element that he's bringing to his game right now, that's going to become a huge distraction. Mark my words. Mark my words. This is going to become a huge distraction. He's probably going to face a suspension at some point in the near future for something. And then just as Calgary tries to get their stuff together to be a cup contender, and let's be honest, man, they just lost 2 in a row to Toronto, and the Leafs look like they're starting to click, but that Calgary team has got a decent roster. I didn't pick them to make the top 4 in the North, but as I said several weeks back, I wrote it first, and I think I've said it. I expect there to be, at the most, 6 to 8 points difference between teams 1 and 6 in the North. I think Ottawa will fall out of the bottom here, be quite a bit behind, but those teams 1 to 6 are going to be separated literally by 2 to 3 wins over 56 games. So easily transferable. But last night, that was absolutely priceless. I loved it, and I just hope he doesn't deliberately hurt anybody anymore, actually, ever. But I just know that's not going to happen. So right now, just in the short term, I'm just hoping Montreal gets through these next 2 games without suffering any injuries at the hands of Matthew Tkachuk, who is deliberately trying to hurt people out there on the ice. And there's no repercussions that can be done, as I stated ad nauseum in my last little Liam's Hockey here. Enough of that. Finish up on this one. Short and sweet today. Ottawa Senators fans. I live here in the Ottawa area. I'm in the village of Osgood, which was only part of Ottawa since the amalgamation in 2001. Believe me, anybody who's growing up around here, none of us feel like we're part of the city, but we're Ottawa. This is our area. So I'm first level here, getting everything that's the angst and the hand-wringing and the absolute frustration very quickly early in the season here of a team that 999 people out of 1,000 objectively have picked to finish last. It's just, they're just not really happy about the way it looks like they're going to finish last if you're a Sens fan, which I am not. But I certainly appreciate the good things that they've done here in the 25 plus years that they've been around, and all that to say that right now the implosion that's going on by the fan base, folks, you got to dial it back. You got to relax. There's no doubt there is some valid commentary on DJ Smith. You have got some guys in the lineup. Now, it looks like tonight, by all accounts, I think just by about everybody's account, this is probably as good a team as Ottawa can ice tonight for tonight's game against Vancouver in just a few hours' time. So, Let's see what happens. They will not lose 7-1 tonight. Absolutely no way. They could, in fact, win the game. In fact, when I did this last hit, was just at the on the eve of them starting their 3-game set against Vancouver here, and I said, I felt, and I still do, that they would win one of the 3 games, and tonight could very well be the night. If nothing else, personal and professional pride should carry some weight tonight after the score, which was not really indicative of the game, but regardless, it was a score, and I think there'll be some improvement tonight. But folks, I think you got to relax a little bit here. You're not going to win a ton this year, no matter what they have in the lineup. And I think the biggest thing tonight, gets Dutzla back on track. That was his first game after the injury. He had a tough game. Everybody did, but a lot of real big magnifying glasses on him. They've got a huge problem in net. They need somebody to save the savables. My buddy John Rodenberg's term, JR from TSN 1200 here. Got to save the savables, man. And they're not getting that right now, no matter who's in. So somehow between tonight and tomorrow night, because they play back-to-back, Murray and Holberg, whoever starts one night and the next, somebody's got to give them a few saves and allow them a little bit of footing here to compete. They could have scored 2 or 3 goals the other night on just about any other Ottawa team in the last 5 years, and they have been bad outside of that miracle run in 2017. They've been a bad hockey club. They would have probably banged a couple of those in on almost any other year. Just by the bad luck and some guys that are struggling in the lineup and whatnot and grabbing the stick a little too tight, they didn't get those goals, didn't hang around, and Vancouver went right down. Once Ottawa did score a fluke, Austin Watson, to make it 2-1, bingo, 20, 30 seconds later, it's 3-1. They mailed it in at that point. They'll have a better effort tonight. But folks, Ottawa fans, going to be a long year. I know you want to win with the youth, but you can't go 18 young guys. The guys they picked up, and here's probably the biggest problem, and it's been talked about here by a number of people online and on the air here. Their vets that they have brought in are not leading any of these guys to the promised land, holding their hand and trying to get them acclimatized to NHL hockey. They haven't really done a good job of that to date. Your Derek Stepans and guys of that ilk, they have not really helped out at all, and that's been a huge problem. But I'm hearing and reading and seeing a lot about it, and it's I know it's hand-wringing and angst time, and be watching the game with bated breath tonight, hoping against hope that you don't get smoked again. You will not tonight. Ottawa will not lose like that tonight, but just try and stay cool, man. Only one team can win. Tampa are the defending Stanley Cup champions. Before that, it was St. Louis. Before that, it was Washington. Before that, it was Pittsburgh. We've never had a run. I mean, I say this all the time. You look at the 2000s, starting in what, 03? You look at 03, you got New Jersey Devils. 04, you got Tampa Bay, no hockey in 05, 06 Carolina, 07 Anaheim, 08 Detroit, 09 Pittsburgh, Chicago in 2010, Boston in 2011, LA in 2012. Different teams every year. From 2003 to 2012 before you had a repeat in that run with Chicago. I mean, we're at an all-time high of parity. It's the double Ferris wheels, the analogy that I use. And you're on the double Ferris wheel and you go up to the top and you just hope that maybe you're on the spinner that just stays on the top loop and you go right back around, rather than the whole thing spinning down and you go all the way back down to the bottom, which is what Ottawa has done since their semifinal run of 2017. And you want to see a team that's even worse off than that? Look at the Nashville Predators. They went to a Stanley Cup final. And where have they gone? They've plummeted right now. And they're death by 1,000 cuts. You're seeing their players are playing great for all sorts of other teams in the NHL. Look at Craig Smith last night for the Boston Bruins. If you need a better example than that. Oh my God. What a signing by the Bruins. I love that guy. He is something else. And even Austin Watson, who's playing here in Ottawa. It's not that he's playing fantastic for the Sens, but he is a part of what's been lost as I carry my whiskey around here. That's been lost by the Nashville Predators. So, it's So, Sens, chill out, baby. We've all been there, man. We've all been there. Get yourself a whiskey. Have a whiskey and relax and have a smile and enjoy your health if you got it. Live through this crazy pandemic. Better days are coming, and they're starting tonight. You're not losing 7-1 tonight. Alrighty then. That's going to be it for today on Liam's Hockey. I'm going to toast Mr. Jim Rutherford on an outstanding career. The historical context of it going back to his playing days and everything he has done as executive, as a general manager. He's in the Hockey Hall of Fame, deservedly so. Here's to you, Jimmy. What an outstanding career. Good luck in retirement. Who knows? May get involved again. Never know. Once personal reasons clear up, who knows? All the best to him, nonetheless. G'day. That's a big shot. G'day.